top 4 and the finals will both be 90 minutes. Best 2 out of 3.
90 minutes.
Well, 90 minutes plus 3 turns. So these games are going to play out. We're going to have Komatsuda versus Yamato on this stream. On the other stream, we'll have John Roberts II versus David Cohen. That'll be twitch.tv/cardleaders. So if you want to see some more cling-clang action, you'll go to that stream. If you want to see some world-class Japanese players,
Duke it out with Mewtwo.
really a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to watch these two guys play on our stream. Tune in to our stream.
Yes.
And we're glad to have you here.
It'll be a really interesting battle. Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, of course, Yamato 2004. I just realized, actually, Yamato 2004 undefeated world champion. Yuta 2010 undefeated world champion.
Yes.
They're the only 2 players in Masters to ever be undefeated world champion, and they're facing off right here.
All right, we can see which one can assert more dominance, the full art Mewtwo or the regular art.
We'll find out. Looks like they're going to get set up here, so we'll go ahead and get set up. All right, so we have Yamato on the left, and Yuta on the right.
So we do know that Yamato is running Darkrai Mewtwo. And let's just have a look at what Yuta's playing.
Yeah, we don't really know. We do see a mulligan from Yamato, though. So he is going to shuffle in and draw a new hand of 7, and Yuta will draw an extra card.
If he's playing what he played at Worlds, which was a top 8 appearance,
Yeah.
it's probably going to be a Darkrai Mewtwo mirror match.
So I think it's always interesting to look at the sleeves that the players are using. Yamato has these Cynthia sleeves, and Yuta has just like the plainest, weirdest sleeves I've ever seen. It's like a black border, and the rest is just like white.
I actually think they're pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like them.
They're kind of neat. It's just really strange to see.
So, here we go, the die roll, and let's see who's going to be first for this match.
And let's see who goes first. We don't actually know.
And
But, man, I just want to say, this is a matchup you can only dream of. We have 2 world champions, Japanese players. We only get to see these guys once a year at Worlds. And they're here playing for us in the Top Gun Invitational for your viewing pleasure. I mean, this is super exciting, even if you're like brand new to the game or if you've been around forever. It's just so exciting. Oh, man. A Mewtwo showdown.
it looks like they both want to assert dominance.
Oh, yeah.
Only one's going to come out of this one. So.
Oh, man. Mewtwo versus Mewtwo. Like, these guys are already evenly matched, and now we have this.
That was a pretty rough Juniper for Yamato.
Yeah, 2 junk arms gone. That was really bad. He did get 2 basic dark in the discard pile.
Yeah.
So that was sort of positive, but yeah, 2 junk arms and a dark patch. That is pretty bad.
But it looks like he's considering Ultra Ball here. Maybe get a Smeargle. Because he can retreat that Mewtwo and just kind of try to get 2 supporters in. I don't like the Loss Remover discard.
I mean, I don't know what else he had in his hand, but that might have just been the lesser of all the other evils. He has an Eviolite and a Juniper as his other 2 cards.
Yeah. It's tough. Eviolite's pretty important. But then again, Yuta does play Tropical Tidal Wave. So
we'll
maybe it's really not that
We'll
important.
see if he still does. Oh, he doesn't have anything.
Ooh.
Wow, no supporter. He does have a random receiver, though. I think I saw an energy switch in his hand. That's an interesting card that we don't see very much of.
It makes sense, though.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you don't have the bench space to commit to Shaman.
Yeah.
So
Sometimes you just want to attach to your Smeargle and retreat, and then you just want to energy switch. Or sometimes you just have an energy sitting on your Mewtwo that you really don't want to have there, and you just want to move 1 off, and you don't want to waste the bench spot. So you can always junk arm for the energy switch. It's a cool addition to the deck.
So we do see a Juniper in here, and let's see what he gets. Oh, there's an N. Dark. Oh, maybe it's just going to be a Portrait War. get a Juniper off this if he portraits.
Yeah.
So this could be devastating if Yuta doesn't play this right. And it looks like he's going to opt to put the energy somewhere else. He's like, all right, putting this energy on Mewtwo is actually very dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, like we've always said, Mewtwo's worst enemy is Mewtwo. You don't want to just leave him there and not do anything with him. That's just suicide. You're going to give up 2 prizes doing that. So might as well just put it on Darkrai where it's safe.
Alright, so we do see 2 energy on the field for Yamato, no energy on any of Yuta's Mewtwo's.
He's got one on that Darkrai, that's
so
it.
He just Dark Patched again, so there's 2 on it. That's 3 energies, so maybe a Shaman Mewtwo, or Shaman DCE, will be pretty deadly.
Yeah. Now, Yamato did just play his 3rd Junk Arm, so his resources are going to be pretty limited the rest of the game. Usually you rely on Junk Arm to reuse cards like Dark Patch, Catcher, even like Switch, Plus Power, Eviolite, all of these stuff. You're not going to be able to reuse it because 3 Junk Arms are gone. I really think that Junk Arm is the most valuable card in any of these decks just because it can turn into anything.
So we do see a portrait. He looks like he's going for Pont.
Okay.
That's a good move. You know, make one of the almost textbook at this point moves is just if your opponent has nothing, just make them use their supporter and then have less stuff than you do.
He hits the Dark Patch, so he'll be able to Night Spear this turn. He's going to get the first Night Spear. We'll see if this makes the difference in the match.
That's pretty strong. He hits 3. He goes through 3 Dark Patches and 3 Junk Arms by what, turn 2?
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty much full steam ahead though. Like, this is all he's got. Once this Darkrai goes down, he's going to be sputtering a lot, trying to get the rest of his stuff going, because all of his energy acceleration is pretty much gone. 3 Dark Patches, 3 Junk Arms, they're all in the discard pile already, and he's still got like 30 cards left in his deck. So it's just kind of weird to think about.
It's kind of like this Mewtwo or bust.
And someone has bumped into our camera. Oh no.
Well, luckily we can still see the game.
Yeah, not too bad, just a little bit of an awkward angle.
Well, that's okay. We'll get that adjusted after this game.
Yeah, so right now we did see a max potion, so that just negated that Night Spear damage. Really big deal.
Mm-hmm. And we Eviolite. Where would you put the Eviolite here? On the Mewtwo, or on the Darkrai that has damage on it?
Yeah, I would just put it on the other Darkrai.
Okay.
You probably just think that eventually it's going to turn into Mewtwo battles, so those just get knocked out anyway.
Right, right.
Might as well just Eviolite your Darkrai's, which you need to protect. That's kind of like the safe place to put your energy until you need to shaman them off and then use Mewtwo. So I like putting the Eviolite on the Darkrai.
I'm kind of waiting for Claw Snag to come in.
Yeah.
I see that Sneasel, I'm just like, oh yeah.
It's just kind of like an ominous threat. Like, as the game goes on, I think that's actually going to be more devastating as Yuta's deck gets depleted of supporters and Junk Arms. Can you imagine, like, getting End to, like, 2 cards and then a Claw Snag discards one of your cards?
That would be, like, devastating.
Yeah.
But the odds can be like a little of that happening, or a little lower as the game goes on.
Yeah, understandable. But I think as Yuta burns through more and more supporters and more random receivers, more Junk Arms, there's more of an opportunity for Yamato to just be like Claw Snag, take his only supporter, and then he can just fizzle out the rest of the game.
So let's see. If Yamato hits Catcher, that'd be great. Definitely want to start nailing at those Mewtwo's. There's already 9 prizes available on Yuta's board.
Don't get to say that very often.
You know, you can just make it, just play down one more Smeargle and just be like, yeah, I got 10 there. Have at it.
Reminds me of the days when we had Rayquaza Star and there would just be like 5 EXs out on the board.
And out of nowhere, it would just knock everything out.
You take 10 prizes in a turn. We need to bring back a new Rayquaza Star that does 200 out of EXs.
Yeah, because, what was it? Rayquaza Star was 100?
100, yeah.
Yeah.
Need to keep up with the power creep. Needs to do 200 now.
Would it still be a Rayquaza?
Sure, why not?
So,
what else would it be?
Maybe a Deoxys.
Sure, why not? We'll go with that.
Yeah.
So we do see a catcher and a Night Spear. He's going to get the first hit in on that Darkrai. What do you think about catching that Darkrai instead of one of the Mewtwo's?
I like it. You know, he's kind of conceded that, okay, if Mewtwo gets to the active spot, the only thing I'm knocking that out is with a Mewtwo.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it's
second max potion.
Yeah, Mewtwo's are really easy to max potion because they just run on 2 colorless energy.
Yeah.
So by hitting the Darkrai's, you're making it very hard for them to keep energy on the board. You constantly threat them, and they resist Psychic. So even if you want to go after them with Mewtwo, it may not always be possible because of the resistance and Eviolites.
Mm-hmm. So let's see. Yuta decides to catch her out that Sneasel, actually. But I don't think he can attack this turn yet. Huh. Weird. Or did he just decide not to? How many junk arms is that?
4.
What?
I'm kind of speechless right now. You know, we were kind of going, yeah, Yamato's not going to have that much gas, but suddenly it's been equalized.
Did that actually just happen? 4 junk arms got Junipered away?
I mean, that's the definition of random. That can happen.
Okay, so now both players do not have access to junk arm the rest of the game. I believe, has Yamato played his 4th one yet?
Not yet. I think he's still at 3.
Okay, so maybe he'll have one more.
Yeah.
Man, I don't think I've ever actually seen that happen in a game where you have to discard all 4 junk arms in a turn.
Yeah, and it was like completely like not voluntary.
Yeah.
It was just like portrait anything but Juniper.
Yeah.
Come on. Oh no.
Wow. So that might actually be the game ender for Yuta. I mean, he's behind on energy in play. He's behind on attackers, and the max potion is gone. And
that was only 3 junk arms.
Okay. 3 junk arms. Whew.
Might as well
Still
just
got
take the
one
4th junk arm and make it a hat
let's
trick.
rub salt on the wound. Let's take the 4th one. Which one did you take here? Do you actually just take the junk arm?
I think so. It's the most valuable trainer.
Yeah, I think so too. Is that...
Oh, it takes the N.
Okay.
Is that a Sage's training?
It looked like energy switch. Is that what it was?
I don't know.
Who knows? We'll find out.
So, let's see. Night Spear comes in. A kind of like pointless Night Spear in terms of like taking a prize. This prize is going to be like, you're going to be taking a lot of even number prizes. So, the Smeargle is a acceptable loss. Yeah, it doesn't play catcher. He's definitely going after that Smeargle. Then again, that deck does heavily rely on Shaman.
Right. You know, I think this is actually a smart play. He saw his opponent has no supporters left in his hand, and he's just going to knock out Smeargle. So really, Yuta can just only play what's in his hand. I mean, he can waste his 4th junk arm on a random receiver, but then you're making him waste that junk arm anyway. So if you discard the N, knock out the Smeargle, you're making him discard the N and waste his 4th junk arm both at the same time.
Well, it depends how many catchers Yuta has left, because, you know, when you're forced into a corner, there's only one way out of it.
Mewtwo.
Oh, yeah, and he just drew another one.
Oh, boy. Well, let's see. Yamato showing us that he has a ton of junk arms, dark patches, and catchers in his discard pile. So it might just be old-fashioned beatdown from here on out. The actives trying to take each other out.
Well, we do see a Night Spear. Let's see who he puts it on. Maybe the Weavile. Or Smeargle. Okay, goes for Smeargle.
I like the Smeargle,
yeah.
Just because it has an energy on it. I can't tell if the Weavile has one on it. I don't think so. But yeah, you target the Smeargle because it has the energy. If he wants to max potion, he might have to lose an energy. Unless he plays a Shaman. So might as well target the thing with the energy.
I just hope we don't see another big Shaman move. I think Shaman's fine for Mewtwo here, but like maybe only a couple.
Yeah.
Let's see. You could use Night Spear though. Wouldn't be bad. I don't know. You wouldn't get knocked out from another Night Spear. You might get knocked out by an X-Ball though.
Yeah, I don't. Oh, he's promoting Mewtwo. Here we go.
He's doing it.
He's starting the war.
And it's actually perfectly okay for him to start the war.
Whoa, there's a double colorless on that Weavile. Didn't see that one.
Yep.
And
he's moving the energies to his fresh Darkrai.
I actually have to say I do like this play. He's already had one prize. This will make him go down to 3. Even if Yuta responds with a Mewtwo, he'll actually still be ahead on the prize trade.
Yeah, it's a very good move.
Yeah, it's a strong play. It forces Yuta to have a response. If he doesn't, then, well, he just gets X-balled again. Once Mewtwo gets this much momentum, you really need to stop him immediately before it does too much damage.
And there's another energy, and here we go, X-ball.
And Yamato is looking to really take this first game. It's far from over, don't get me wrong, but there's the 4th junk arm being played by Yuta, and I don't know what he's going to go for.
It may actually not be that far off. He's going to have the random receiver here. Let's see what he gets.
He's going to hope for N, I would think.
Well, there's all that energy he wanted with that Juniper.
Oh, my. All right, there's a Juniper.
Yeah, he's going to lose a Shaman, too.
Wow,
that's his second one.
Ugh, it's just not good. At this point, he's got to be thinking that he might be losing this game, but there's plenty of time to play the rest of the games out. It's best 2 out of 3, 90 minutes. There is the double colorless.
Is there a dark on that Shaman? Or on that Darkrai?
Yeah, there is.
Okay. Oh, I see it,
Yep.
The way he puts his energies is a little different from what we're used to.
Yeah. But it's still fine. He'll X-ball here. And does Yamato have the response?
It's going to... that's so tough because I don't think he runs plus power. So it's going to come down to, like, another Shaman hit, or he's going to have to sack a Darkrai or something. I don't think he can respond this turn to that Mewtwo.
Yeah, I don't think it's a big deal, though. If he just Night Spears, that Mewtwo just has a double colorless. There's just a couple energy on that Darkrai back there. There's 2 Shaman in the discard pile. So I think retreating to that fresh Darkrai and using Night Spear is a pretty safe play at this point.
Yeah, I agree. He's gonna... Ooh, Junk Arm. That's the 4th one, and with that, all the Junk Arms are gone.
Let's see, he's just gonna look, make sure this 1, 2, 3, 4 Junk Arms gone.
2 patches are gone. 3 patches. So
both these players,
1 patch left.
Both these players have depleted their resources pretty much completely at this point. Yamato's going to discard his N, which is a very smart move.
And he's going to get Loss Remover.
Oh,
there we go.
Boy.
That's huge.
Going to be, like, game-changing.
Oh, maybe he'll just drop a Mewtwo on of his own and then just be like, yeah, go Mewtwo.
I don't think he'll do that. Darkrai's pretty good here. A Night Spear for 90 to this Mewtwo and 30 to the other one, maybe. That could be a strong play.
Let's see. So he goes N here. Pretty good. You know, Yuta just drew 2 prizes. So, and he just got rid of that loss, that DCE. You know, I think Yamato has almost sealed it up. You know, yeah, I think he's going to take this game down.
Oh, he drew the Eevee. Like, that's such a big card to draw there. Really, the only hope Yuta had left was that he could maybe win the Darkrai exchange, 2-hit Yamato's Darkrai with Night Spear, and try to come back that way. But the way things are now, it's going to be a 3-hit knockout. Not as good.
Yeah, and Yamato does have a Shaman in his hand. You know, if Yuta takes 1 more prize...
Oh, he got his 4th Dark Badge. Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty good. But yeah, if Yuta knocks out a non-EX, then Yamato can just go, okay, that's cool, I'm going to go DCE or Mewtwo and then a Shaman.
Yeah. And now we just have a Night Spear. Now I think the most devastating part about all those Junk Arms being discarded is that he's no longer able to use Max Potion. He played 2 Max Potions earlier. If he still had those Junk Arms available, he'd be able to just heal that Mewtwo off. No harm done. But in this situation, he's just kind of forced to have it stuck there, and eventually that's just going to be catchered and knocked out.
Well, they are both out of junk arms,
That's true.
so catcher may not be an issue here.
Maybe we're at a point where both players are just out of catchers, junk arms, and dark patches.
They're just kind of smacking into each other, just trying to see who wins. Let's see. Does he get anything useful? This could get very dangerous for Yamato. There's a lot of damage building up on those Darkrai's.
Yeah.
And if too much damage builds up, then Yuta can just go, okay, DC Mewtwo, let's go.
Yeah, I'm actually just trying to figure out how this game will even play out. Yamato has another N in his hand. It's like his fourth one, I think. Yeah, he's in a weird position. I don't know what's going to happen, to be completely honest. Usually I assume that someone has a junk arm or a catcher or a max potion or a dark patch or any sort of resource in the game, but both players are just out of everything.
Yeah, so we do see is that a DC? Or no, that's a dark. So he's going for another Night Spear, and wow. I think Mewtwo could sweep this up.
Yeah, Yuta might actually pull this one out after having to Juniper away 3 junk arms.
Yeah, like, if he sends up Mewtwo and then goes X-Ball, next turn, catcher X-Ball, that's game.
Yeah, that's all there is to it. And Yamato doesn't have any other attacker. Oh, wait, he's got a Mewtwo and a Shaman sitting in his hand.
I think Yuta's just waiting for his own Darkrai to be knocked out, and then he's going to go N.
Maybe, yeah. Let's see. So he goes for a Night Spear. That's not going to set up a double knockout or anything like that. So not a big deal.
But that double knockout might happen next turn. Look how much damage is on that Mewtwo. It's like 150, isn't it?
Is it 150?
I think so.
Oh, wow. That will be a double knockout. But
yeah.
Again, Yamato doesn't have a catcher in his hand. He might not have any left, period. But if he can manage to pull that off, that would be such a big play.
So here's the N. And here comes Mewtwo. Here he comes, rolling on in.
What's up, guys? Just X-balling my way through. And let's see, did Yamato draw anything? No, he just drew a Max Potion. Nothing great.
Max Potion Darkrai. So he's literally drawing like... Oh, there's a Night Spirit. And, oh, the Eviolite will save a double knockout.
Oh, it did... Oh, he just didn't even retreat the Dark... I'm confused.
Maybe he didn't... I don't know.
Yeah, so Yamato will win the first game, apparently.
I would have liked... I thought... Yeah, I'm pretty sure Mewtwo would have been fine, but... I don't know, maybe you guys saw something that we didn't. Not sure, but...
Maybe he didn't have enough energy to get the knockout?
That doesn't sound... I mean, it had 3 energy on it. It would have been doing 60.
Yeah, it would have been enough, huh?
Yeah. Because it's like, it's been Night Speared once, twice, something like that. It had over 120 damage on it.
Yeah. Wow, I don't know what to make of that. Maybe it was an oversight. Or maybe there's something we don't know.
Yeah, it must be.
Well, at any rate, Yamato will win the first game. Yuta, he has to win the next 2 to pull this one out. The winner of this match will advance to the finals of our Top Cut Invitational. They will face the winner of John Roberts II and David Cohen. Wow, that means either John or David will be in the finals. Just hit me. Woo! So,
we could have like a double world champion finals, or we could have like Clang just come in and just be like, hey guys, this is the real best deck in the format. I know what won Worlds.
Yeah.
But this is the real best deck.
So I'm excited to see either John or David in the finals because neither of these guys have a lot of exposure. You know, John just started playing. David not covered too much. So I'm excited to see at least one of these players make it to the finals. That's kind of the goal with the Invitational, to get all sorts of players the recognition they deserve. And I'm glad to see a new face to make it to the finals.
Yep, so we do see Yamato mulliganing his first game, or his first hand. And, yep, here we go.
Did see a mulligan, and of course Yuta will decide to go first. He did lose the first game, so he gets to decide who goes first. In the second, this is normal tournament rules. We just up the time limit from 60 to 90 so that you guys can enjoy the full games here.
Here we go. Oh. Yeah. So we're going to see double Darkrai. I don't like that, actually.
Yeah.
You have to get 2 Eviolites on the Darkrai's. You know, the matchup really comes down to how much Night Spear damage can you rack up.
Yeah.
And if you don't protect your Darkrai's with Eviolites, then they just kind of get hit pretty hard. So maybe he was just, I don't know what he was worried about, but maybe a little oversight.
Okay, so Yuta, he did Portrait and he got an N from Yamato. So they will both shuffle in and draw 6. Portrait, I gotta say, Smeargle has been like the MVP for most decks ever since Sky Arrow Bridge came out. It's just been such a big boost for consistency for decks. You can really pull off some ridiculous turns with Portrait, getting multiple supporters in a turn. And I think it's just funny how he converted from Cleffa to Smeargle in such a short amount of time.
Yeah, everyone kind of realized like how much damage Kyrogue was doing. And they were like, okay, we need a new alternative. Well, everyone runs supporters, so here comes Smeargle.
Yeah, and I mean, we've just seen Smeargle pop up in nearly every archetype. Even like Vileplume decks are adding it in. Well, I was going to say Durant didn't, but that kind of fell off the face of the earth when Darkrai came out.
Yep.
So, yeah, every competitive deck pretty much features Smeargle.
Except for the Vileplume decks. I don't think they do, but...
Yeah, even some of them I've seen play Smeargle, so... I haven't seen it in Kling Klang, though.
And, yeah, so... We're seeing another Portrait for Juniper or N.
And this is the situation where this is why you don't want to bench 2 Darkrai's. Now this one doesn't have an energy on it. You're going to have to attach to retreat it or draw a switch. So that's just a bad situation either way.
And Yamato actually had no supporter in his hand too, so that worked out beautifully for him.
Yeah. Now he decides to Juniper instead of the N. Maybe he just saw that Yuta didn't have the right cards to pull off a Night Spear, so he didn't want to give him a fresh hand and another opportunity for it. And he decides it's worth discarding these trainers to go ahead and do that.
Well, let's see. We're going to see. He's going to Junk Arm here. You think he's going to go for Dark Patch? Yeah, definitely. I think he's going for Dark Patch here, and just going to be like, hey, I'm going to Night Spear you next turn.
Yeah. And let's see, there is the Dark Patch.
He also hasn't played a supporter yet, has he?
I don't think so. No, he hasn't. Sometimes I forget with Portrait, but yeah, he hasn't played one yet.
And what will he do here? He's going for Pont.
Yep, he's going to go for the Oak's New Theory, shuffle in, draw 6 new cards. Turn 1 Night Spear is still a possibility.
Have you seen Switch out of any of these decks?
No, I was kind of thinking the same thing. I haven't seen a single Switch out of either player in the entirety of the game. Even the one Yamato played before, I don't think I've seen a Switch.
That or Sky Arrow Bridge. Have you seen that either?
No, I haven't seen that either.
Do you think that's how they fit all these cards?
Probably.
And they're like, my opponents play Sky Arrow. I'm good.
Yeah.
Besides, with the high Shaman count, you can actually afford to attach to Smeargle.
Yeah.
And then Shaman it off later. So it's actually not that bad.
Yeah, I think here in the U.S. and maybe in the other countries too, we're just so used to stuff like Paralysis and being able to switch between Smeargles and Portraiting that we just think the Switch is a staple card, like in every deck, especially like the electric decks. Of course, if that gets catchered out, you want to switch. CMT, that's another one where you need to play Switch. And so by the time Darkrai came around, we were just like, oh, all the archetypes obviously play Switch. It's just a staple that we play. But then they looked at it and they're like, maybe you just don't need Switch. Why can't I just fit other cards instead?
And the camera got bumped again, but we'll fix that after the game.
Yeah, we need to get people to stop bumping into that camera. It's all good, though. The room is getting a little loud, too, but it's all good. We're here from the World Championships in Kona, Hawaii. People are very passionate. There's actually people huddled all around the matches to watch these players. Just go at it. It's really exciting to see everybody come out to watch these players.
I've lost count of how many pictures were taken.
Yeah.
There's a ton of people here just watching.
Truly a great event, and I'm glad people are as passionate about it as we are.
So, let's see here. What would you do in this situation?
Well, whose turn is it?
Yamato's.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure. You mean he has the N in his hand?
Yeah, he has an N. He has a loss remover. He has a DCE. See, this is the kind of like the downfall of not running Switch or Sky Arrow. Is you run into the situation where you just go, that Smeargle's not leaving, is it?
Yeah, exactly. That's why you play the Switch and Sky Arrow, to let your Smeargles move freely. So Yamato did Claw Snag. He got Yuta's Juniper.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very big turn of events. But it's actually not going to mean anything unless he can knock out his Smeargle, which he didn't do, and now there's just an N sitting in his hand.
So, yeah, that's pretty unfortunate.
Yeah, this is actually why Weavile stopped being played at all. When people started using Smeargle, they would just portrait your hand and get your support anyway, so it didn't really do anything.
Yeah, it was just more of an annoyance than anything.
Yeah.
So, let's see. We do see, and let's just see how well Yuta can draw off this. There is a N, Mewtwo. Let's see how he rolls with this. I wonder if Yuta runs into that same situation where that Smeargle just stays there forever.
Yeah, I think he actually plays the energy switch for that kind of thing instead of normal switch, because you can attach the Smeargle retreat and just move the energy to your Darkrai. So at least he has some way to pull a trick like that, whereas I don't think Yamato's deck has anything like that.
Yeah, I think the small difference is like Weavile over energy switch. It might be as small as that.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So we do see a Dark Patch, and he's setting up 2 Darkrai's. This is pretty smart. And he's just saying, okay. Last game kind of went overboard on dropping down Mewtwo's. This time I'll just keep one, just to keep your Mewtwo in check. And I'm just going to try and go for the big Night Spears.
Yeah, this is a mirror match that, quite honestly, confuses me a lot. Whenever I think somebody has an advantage, something happens where they just like Shaman, Max Potion, or Shaman to a big Mewtwo and play an N. And this matchup really isn't really over until someone finally takes their last prizes and wins the game. I've seen way too many situations where people have made comebacks that I would have thought impossible, but they make it seem really easy.
So here we go. That's how you break this little lock. You just catch her. Ooh, there goes a DCE.
Yep. Lost Remover. That's a card that gained a lot of popularity after good old John Roberts won Nationals. That started being added into pretty much every deck. Just like 1 or 2 Lost Removers can make the difference, especially with Double Colorless being so prominent too.
Let's see. So we do see a Max Potion, Dark Patches, but no Dark Energies in Yamato's discard. He's going to have to commit that Dark Energy to retreat, and yeah, there it is. Let's just start getting some Night Spears going.
Yeah, and I think he's fine with that, attaching to the Smeargle. He plays at least 2 Shaman. I think he plays those because he knows this situation is going to happen so often. He has to attach, retreat the Smeargle. So I don't think he minds. Smeargle is a really safe place to put an energy because your opponent's never going to waste a catcher attacking that instead of your Darkrai. It's just kind of silly.
I like how he put 30 on the Mewtwo. It's kind of saying, okay, I'm going to just get a hit on that for a little bit, and if you don't come send it up, I'm just going to catch it up and Night Spirit.
Yeah. It's always strong putting the damage on the Mewtwo because it's the place where you're probably not going to put your Eviolite. It's a bigger target, I feel. And also, it sets it up where you can X-Ball with one less energy, and you'll get a knockout. So, yeah, anytime you can hit a Mewtwo for 30, seems like a strong play because that's where the energy is going to go if they ever play Shaman. And you might as well just put the damage there knowing the energy is going to get there eventually.
So we do see a Night Spear coming in from Yuta, and I guess he just puts the 30 on the Mewtwo here, or that's an emulated Mewtwo, so 30 on the Smeargle. Not bad. I mean, it's really the only thing he can do. I think this kind of series has just been Yamato maybe drawing a little better than Yuta has.
Yeah, I can see that. But I don't know. I think, does Yuta have the advantage here? He's the first one to really get the Night Spear off. A meaningful one, anyway. And actually, no, I'm stupid. Yamato got the first one off. So, I don't know. Like I said before, there's just so many situations where Max Potion changes the game completely. So I don't know who's going to win until like we see how many Max Potions have been played.
Alright, so we do see a random receiver, Juniper, and that's not going to be the best supporter for Yamato. He might even just go for another random receiver. Not sure. There's a lot of good cards in his hand, but I think he's probably going to go for Dark Patch here. Oh, just cards Dark Patch.
Yeah, he's just going to go ahead and use it, though.
Yeah. There we go. Use it, and so that Darkrai is getting ready. Ooh, DCE there.
Yep, so this is the point where tons of energy are hitting the field, and Darkrai is the safe place to put energy because he's not going to be knocked out easily, and that Shaman's going to be coming sometime soon, I'm sure.
It's like you're reaching critical mass.
Yeah.
Yeah. And here comes a Night Spear, probably. Though he could drop the Shaman and go Mewtwo. I mean, there is 70 damage on that Darkrai. So you wouldn't need to commit all your energies to it, just a little bit. You would have to do 150 to it, minus 40, 110. Yeah, 150. So you have to do 160. You would need
5 energy on his Mewtwo, yeah.
Yeah, 5 energy on his Mewtwo. Which is not too bad considering there's a DC there.
Yeah, but he decides to just Night Spear. I think I prefer that play. I mean, your Darkrai's not going to be knocked out, so... Oh, hey!
Ooh, that is cool.
Check that out. 2 energy switches.
Wouldn't be surprised if I just saw like a retreat for a Max Potion either.
Yeah, that definitely could come up. We'll see if he draws one here off the Oaksnoo Theory. But I just wanted to mention how good Dark Patch really is. At first glance, obviously you see it's a good card. Like, oh, I just get to attach extra energy to my Darkrai? Okay. But it's also had other uses come up that I didn't really think about. The first one is just, you know, having a safe place to put your energy so you can shaman them onto Mewtwo later. But the most interesting one I saw this weekend, some guy was using a Magnezone Mega deck with Darkrai so he could Dark Patch onto the Darkrai and Lost Burn for a bunch of damage.
Yeah, that's so much damage.
Yeah.
I actually saw a few more Magnezones in the Worlds Tournament.
Yeah.
So that was pretty interesting. And then I was kind of quickly reminded why this kind of fell out of play.
Yeah.
They just get Night Speared
pretty
hard.
much. But I thought the Dark Patch Magnezone deck was fun to watch at the very least. Really creative, and it just goes to show Dark Patch is just a very versatile card and extremely powerful.
So next turn we're going to see a 3-prize swing for Yuta. He's definitely going to go Night Spear and take out the Smeargle and the Darkrai. And that's fine because there's a Weavile on the board.
Right.
So that'll bring him back to even number prizes. And then all he has to do is take out Mewtwo, and that's the game.
Yeah, I mean, the 3-prize turn is pretty significant. We'll see if Yamato can manage to get a Max Potion this turn. That will, of course, change everything. You know, shaman all the energy off, Max Potion. If he can pull that off, it's really just going to ruin Yuta's plan, I think. Otherwise, yeah, it's going to be a big turn next turn.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What do you think of just going big Shaman Mewtwo here? Taking out that fresh Darkrai?
Possibility.
Because if you're staring down a 3-prize swing, would that work to prevent that?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you're just better off going catcher knocking out that bench Darkrai. Just to get the 2 prizes. I think the one thing you just want for sure this turn is the Max Potion. You can't afford to have that Darkrai get knocked out and the Spherical. So you're going to be looking for the card he just drew.
Oh yeah, there it is. Big Max Potion, but he doesn't have the Shaman.
Yeah, so he'll actually lose all the energy if he decides to do that. And there's no catcher in his hand either.
Well, I think there's a Junk Arm, so he could dump 5 cards and get the Shaman, have the Max Potion, and then just do, commit to it. But
actually, I didn't see a Junk Arm, and he just Night Spears. So,
okay.
So much for all those plans.
Yeah. Let's see here. If you're Yuta here, then you're probably on like Cloud 9 at this point. All you gotta do is get a Max Potion and Night Spear, and you're in great shape.
Yeah, once again, we're just seeing a Night Spear, though.
Alright, so he looks like he's gonna opt to not knock out Smeargle. That's probably because he just doesn't have any supporters in his hand, so he's like, I'm good. But he will be drawing 2 prizes from this, so that could be like, you might get a supporter off that, so yeah, taking out the Smeargle.
Yeah, I definitely think that's the right play. I mean, where else do you even put the damage there? 10 to a Mewtwo, 10 to a Darkrai, 30 to a Weavile?
I think at that point you just try to stack up on Weavile and go, okay, let's see if this works.
Yeah, but at that point, Yamato can just Max Potion and heal one of them, so might as well take the prize while you can, I guess.
Okay, so he's going to go for a... I really like attacking with Mewtwo.
I can tell.
When you're down 3 prizes and you're just like, alright, what am I going to do to get back into this game? Well, the standard option is just Mewtwo N.
Yeah.
Been like the talk of the year, really.
Yeah, that's really the best way to come back in any matchup, really. Just N, charge up a Mewtwo, and say, deal with it, otherwise I win. We've seen that be used to great success several times over the course of the World Championships and this season in general.
So, let's see. He has the Max Potion, but he's going to save it for later. I think he's probably just fine with Night Spear. Going for the catcher, nice.
Yeah, that's a very big play.
And I think I would just continue stacking damage onto a Darkrai until I'm ready to knock it out.
Yeah, I would do that, or hit the Mewtwo for 30 maybe. Since that's the thing without the Eviolite, and it's already got 30 on it.
Yeah. Now he can just go, he doesn't run plus powers, that's right. I was about to be like, yeah, he can just be like catcher, double plus powered, yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
But that is not it.
Oh, Tropical Tidal Wave! He does play it.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, all the Eviolites are gone. I'm glad.
I was like, what is that for a second?
Yeah, that was actually the Worlds promo a long time ago. I can't remember which year. It was a couple years, but it's still legal for the format, believe it or not.
I believe this is last year it's legal.
Yeah, it will rotate out, but you do get to play it. And if you get heads, you discard all the trainers from your opponent's field. But if you get tails, you discard all of the trainers from your field. So that was...
high risk, high reward.
Yeah, if he got tails, he discarded his 2 Eviolites.
Basically, that would have been game, almost.
Yeah. Very, very risky move that paid great dividends, though.
Yep. So, do you just retreat in Night Spear with this Darkrai? Kind of prevent more damage, prevent it from taking a big hit.
Yeah, I can see that. Either Night Spearing with the active or retreating. I don't mind either one. Attacking with the active one. Then if Yamato Night Spears you, you can pull off the Shaman Max Potion. And he'll have wasted all of his attacks on that one Darkrai. Whereas if you retreat, you have 2 semi-damaged ones, which can be bad if Mewtwo gets enough energy rolling on him. So I really could see either way, but I would prefer just attacking with the one that's active.
Right. He's gonna send up the bench one.
All right, and I am wrong once again.
It's okay. We've both been wrong on quite a few occasions on what these players are playing. Mainly because their lists are so off standard from what we're used to.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of factors, but it just goes to show you how many decisions can go into a game of Pokemon, especially when you introduce Darkrai. The 30 damage for Night Spear, that's a big decision. Just whether or not to catch her, whether or not to retreat. Every little thing counts in these matches, and if you make one little mistake, you can end up losing the whole thing.
Yeah, we're going to see a Night Spear. Oh man, that tropical tidal wave was so huge.
Yeah.
Oh wow, like Yamato has to put the Nebulite back on that Darkrai.
Yeah, I mean, it's got 90 damage on it now. It's just one Night Spear away from being knocked out.
Is he going for two? How many junk arms does he have in his hand? He has at least one, I think. And that's going to get back one Eviolite. And he has a Dark Patch.
It looks like that's what he'll go for. We don't know for sure yet, but he's going to take his time to decide. It's a very tough decision. You don't want to use one of your last junk arms just to get an Eviolite back, of all things. Mm-hmm. But you might have to.
Yeah, like, I think it's... Oh, that tropical tidal wave was so huge. Like, this is kind of a weird situation we're analyzing where they have to, go for the Eviolites here. Like, I don't think you ever really have a chance to go for two junk arms or whatever just to recoup your Eviolites that you had on them.
Yeah. And tropical tidal wave surely turned the tides of this game. And I mean, that if anything, that has to like fluster you. Like, what did you just play? Like, how dare you play that card against me? That's almost when someone plays like a super scoop up out of nowhere and flips the heads to win the game. It's just cards that you're like, you took such a big risk. I can't believe that paid off.
I know, like, it's one of those cards where you just give them the dirty look and you're just like, I can't believe you just did this to me.
Yeah.
But we're going to see a junk arm for Ultra Ball for maybe a Shaman. Yep, there it is.
Okay, that's a ton of cards that he just discarded. I mean, you have to junk arm. That's one card. Discard two more. Then you Ultra Ball and you discard two more. That's 5 cards total that happens when you discard or when you junk arm for Ultra Ball. Very costly.
I think he's kind of concluded that, okay, it's time for the big boys.
Mm-hmm. Here comes Mewtwo.
Here comes Shaman. Here we go.
And all of the energy will move to Mewtwo.
Well, he's just trying to figure out the maximum efficiency for this, because he can still always get a catcher off Mewtwo and just like start knocking out the other Mewtwo on the bench.
How many energy are actually on his active? It just looks like 2.
Should be 2 to 3. I'm not sure.
He moved 2 to that Mewtwo and 1 to the other one.
Okay, there's a catcher. And it might be a DCE. DCE.
That would make sense, yeah.
Yeah. So that would do 120.
Yeah, that would be enough. But it looks like a double colorless. That would make more sense.
Okay, so we have another
catcher. Golden catcher.
I've been eyeing that golden catcher the entire time, to be honest. I was like, yeah, look at it go. It's so pretty. And is Yamato at 2 prizes?
What's it?
Is Yamato at 2 prizes?
Yeah, wow, he does. That's why Yuta just played that max potion in there, to make sure that Yamato cannot take those final 2 prizes next turn. There's a Lost Remover. That'll get rid of that double colorless on the Mewtwo. Mm-hmm. And there's an N.
And maybe we should just run in there and be like, Yamato, that's not Enhance Hammer.
That goes to the Lost Zone.
No, what are you doing?
But it's okay. Yeah, I still think Yuta is in perfect shape to win this game. Mm-hmm. He's going to get a knockout here. All he needs is one more catcher and the game's over. I don't think this game he has wasted too many resources.
No, it's been played pretty well.
He hasn't had to Juniper away 3 junk arms this time. So, just takes one more junk arm, or catcher.
So let's see. How many energies does he have in play? 1, 2, 3. And Yuta has 3, so that's 6. 7. DC is 9.
Yeah, he won't have enough.
No. Yeah, I think
It takes 11 to knock out an Eviolated Darkrai between the two. So you would need to pull 8 energies out of his butt this turn, and I don't think that's possible.
Well, it also depends on whether Yuta has a catcher or not.
Yeah. That's true.
So, everything on Mewtwo.
Uh-oh.
Let's go.
He's all in.
Alright, here we go.
Alright, here comes the X-Ball. And here, does he have the catcher?
Random receiver.
Random receiver. Oops, new theory. He's going to wait to play that real quick. Going to thin out as many cards as he can.
Get rid of that Dark Patch.
Okay, we'll get the extra Dark on that Darkrai.
And
Can he play any other cards? Puts down a Smeargle. Might want to attach an energy as well.
No, because we can get DCE Mewtwo. Oh, well, never mind.
Oh, that's true, but he attached to the active.
Huh.
He's really just going for the catcher.
I think I would have left myself the option of DCE Mewtwo here.
Maybe, yeah.
He might be out of them, though. His deck is so small.
Alright, he's got a very good chance of pulling this off. He got the Shaman anyway. Looks like there's a couple junk arms there.
Yeah, that's game.
Oh, yeah.
There's
the golden catcher. The golden bullet to end this game. And we are tied 1-1 here in the top 4 of the Top Good Invitational.
Some pretty good games. This is one of the mirror matches where it's very close.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, you thought it was like maybe it's just, I'm just going to go Mewtwo. You met Mewtwo, so I'll go Mewtwo. But it's actually not like that, so...
Yeah, it's kind of a complex mirror match where, I mean, in the past we've had some really bad mirror matches. For example, when Typhlosion Reshiram was popular, it was all about who just got the first blue flare, and there was no real way to come back from that. But there's a lot of depth, a lot of strategy involved, and I think we can attribute that to N more than anything else.
Yeah, definitely. N is a very powerful card, and it's kind of... N is like the supporter that defined the format, and Mewtwo is the Pokemon that defined the format.
Certainly. I mean, there's just been so many ridiculously good cards that have come out this season. It started with Pokemon Catcher.
Yes.
And then we got N. And then we got Mewtwo. And then we got Darkrai.
I kind of wish we had Pokemon Catcher sooner.
No. I regret the day that was printed. And I still do. But we got to live with it for now.
It's the lesser of two evils, Kyle. What would you rather have, Catcher or Reversal?
I would rather have neither. But we can only live with the cards that we have available to us, and right now it's Pokemon Catcher, and our players are both using it, and we are here for Game 3 between Tsuguyoshi Yamato and Yuta Komatsuda, 2004 World Champion versus 2010 World Champion. We got a Darkrai versus Mewtwo. Doesn't get any more fitting than that for this format.
Oh yeah, and there's my boy Sneasel on the bench. Oh man, the cost size is actually, I think it's maybe only like a 1-1 line too.
Yeah, I think it's a 2-2 actually. I saw him discard a Weavile one game and then he had a second one.
Okay.
So I think it's a 2-2 line.
Still. Ooh, is that a random receiver? I hope it is. In Yuta's hand?
What's that?
Yuta drew a lot of energy off this N.
And Yamato's going to get a portrait for
Oh, whoa!
That's a loaded hand, wow.
Wow, that's that's so good. And it made Yamato discard all those cards, too.
Yeah, I mean, if you're using any other deck besides like a Darkrai or an electric deck, having to discard that many energy is almost like a game loss. But in this, you welcome it. You're like, wow, I get to use Dark Patch now. And I get to use it 4 times because there's 4 energy in my discard pile.
Wow, that's so crazy. And he has an Eviolite, so you can be like, hey, you know what, I'll just Eviolite Mewtwo. So now you have to Mewtwo it.
Yeah. So how will Yamato respond to this? He does have a Junk Arm, so he'll be able to Dark Patch for sure. He already discarded one with that Juniper.
Even draws a Smeargle.
Wow. Not a bad card to draw.
Oh, yeah.
And before Dark go into the discard pile.
Darkrai, Dark Patch. He even has an energy switch. How classy.
I don't think a turn 1 Night Spear is going to come here. He would need one more Dark Patch, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. We have N. That's actually very good for Yamato, actually. He had 3 cards. One of them was the N, so the Portrait's going to allow him to shuffle in and draw a new hand of 6. So Portrait can definitely backfire in a lot of different ways sometimes, but it's such a benefit when you can get an extra supporter.
Yeah, the N is usually one of the worst cards to hit. It just gives them so many, like, their hand may not have been that good, it may have been really small, and then you just refresh it in, let them use a supporter. It's almost like they get 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I believe it's still Yuta's turn. He hasn't done anything else. Or maybe it's Yamato's turn. Sorry.
okay, there's a...
Not sure what's going on here.
Both players kind of, going through their options. Okay, so there's a Mewtwo.
Okay, so Mewtwo comes down with an Eviolite, so both players are saying, alright, you want to go to a Mewtwo war? Just make the first move, punk.
That's like a showdown in an old Western. However, both players are standing behind barrels that don't move, namely Smeargle.
Yeah. And they're probably just going to send up Darkrai first, so we'll see if anyone makes any crazy moves, just going, alright, let's see what you got, man. And they just shaman all the energy to the Mewtwo and just X-ball the other guy's Mewtwo. You never know, that could happen too.
What would the Darkrai be in an old Western?
Yeah, he's kind of like the sheriff. He's just kind of there to try to keep the peace. But Mewtwo, he's just the rebel. He doesn't care. He just goes out shooting up whoever he wants.
I guess Darkrai's like, all right, I'm gonna shoot at you, like at your feet. Stop where you're going. And Mewtwo's like, what was that? It just pulls out the most ridiculous thing.
Oh man. So, well, you'll see. It looks like Yamato should be able to get a Night Spear this turn. He just needs to attach, right? Because I think he played the Dark Patch. But this is that weird situation where do you want to just knock out a Smeargle with your attack? And no, he decides to Catcher the Darkrai, which does not have an Eviolite, I believe.
Ooh, that's going to be huge. Start racking up that damage on Smeargle because, with Yuta's deck, it's like almost inevitable that he's going to play down a Shaman.
Yeah.
So, you can be at 1 and then you can be like, okay, your deck has been shut down because you can't play Shaman anymore.
Yeah, or maybe you'll still have to put it down, and now I just have an easy way to win.
Yeah.
If I just draw a catcher. So, right now we do have the Dark Energy going on Smeargle. Yamato took a bit of a risk. He had a double colorless in his hand before he played the N. He could have played that to ensure that he would retreat, but he played the N. A little gamble that he would draw an energy. And it paid off.
Oh, Yamato.
And you guys can't see it, but Yuta is laughing. He is smiling so hard. And Yamato is laughing as well. They both know. And our judge yells out, Yahtzee. Tropical Tidal Wave. This is just a card that has completely changed the outcome of both of these games.
Yamato can't believe it.
Oh, man. This is incredible to watch. I mean, usually you would never play that card because it's such a big risk, but when you don't care and you just let it fly, it provides for some pretty exciting games.
You're just like, okay, now my Mewtwo's going to come in.
Oh, man. And
wow.
At the very least, we're having a lot of fun here at the Top Gun Invitational. Of course, these are some very, very competitive matches, very high level between two of the best players in the world. But these guys both are showing that they have so much love for the game, and when it comes down to it, they're just having fun.
So let's see. Yuta X-balled. Oh, it's so tough in Yamato's position. Like, this is kind of like what happened last game, where things were going his way, And then the Tidal Wave.
And then a tropical tidal wave hit his Pokemon. And for some reason, his Eviolites went to the discard pile.
I have nothing to respond to that. I was trying to think of an analogy. I was like, yep, I got nothing.
Yep. I mean, I think that's the first time I've ever seen anyone play Tropical Tidal Wave.
Yeah.
I'm just glad we were able to catch that.
It was a card featured in his deck, and it's cool that, a card like that where everyone kind of, like, in the back of their head, they considered it.
Yeah.
They're like, all right, I'm going to dream of this ideal situation. I'm just going to do it on someone. And the only person to really pull the trigger on that at high-level competition is Yuta.
Yeah. Now, we are seeing an interesting spot. Yamato is saying, all right, you want to go to war? Let's go to war. Shaman, 3 energy to his Mewtwo. We're going to see an X-Ball. Going to be a knockout here. And I think this is actually a really strong move because Yuta, like we said, there's no switch in his deck. There's no Sky Arrow Bridge. So to pull off a knockout here, he would need a Dark Patch. That's number 1. An Energy Switch to move with the Smeargle. And then a Mewtwo and a Double Colorless.
Yes.
Or I suppose a Shaman could substitute for the Energy Switch.
But I almost feel like the Tropical Tidal Wave is like the coin dropping in a Western, and it just sets off everything.
Yeah.
Okay. There we go.
Okay, so now he just needs Mewtwo Double Colorless. He can respond with an X-Ball here. And it's actually strong for him. It's so interesting what can happen now that both players we know don't play Plus Power. They don't play Switch. Because getting an X-Ball knockout with 2 energy as opposed to 3 is the difference between your Mewtwo living and your Mewtwo being knocked out.
Huh. I wonder if...
But it looks like
Yuta missed.
This Mewtwo is going to live regardless.
Yeah.
So Yuta misses his Mewtwo. That's a really, really bad turn of events for him. The Tropical Tidal Wave was a big thing, but now he didn't get the Mewtwo knockout. And this is where Mewtwo just starts to get the ball rolling. And once he builds up enough energy, stuff's going to just start going down left and right.
So, yeah. What would you go after? Who's your next target? Probably, I like taking out the Smeargle, actually.
Yeah, that's not a bad plan. I would consider retreating and just using Night Sphere if you're going to go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
Force Yuta to have a catcher as well to knock out your Mewtwo. And yeah, go from there. I would definitely Night Spear though.
Wrangling that thief with the sheriff. I'm going to be doing this all day.
Oh man. What did we start? So now, Yamato, depends on what he has in his hand. Does he have a catcher? If he does, he'll probably target that Darkrai on the bench. Mm-hmm. If not, he'll just retreat a Night Spear, I would think. There are no Eviolites on Yuta's Pokemon. So Night Spear will hit for the full 90.
That's so strong.
Yeah.
And I like this play too because it kind of says you're gonna. Ooh, there's even an Eviolite on it. It's gonna be so hard for Yuta to come back from this one. He's gonna have to Max Potion a bunch of times. His real only out was kind of force the Mewtwo War and keep going with it for a while. But maybe he can still do it. It's not an impossibility, but he has to It's so tricky keeping up a Mewtwo War with this deck. You have to have the energies on your bench at all times.
Yeah, I mean, there's no plus power, which really makes all the difference when it comes to the Mewtwo Wars. If you can get a knockout with just double colorless plus power, as opposed to needing 3 energy every time, that completely changes how things work. Mm-hmm. But right now, I gotta say, Yuta is in a really rough spot. That one turn where he missed the Mewtwo double colorless, I think that's just going to cost him the game.
Yeah, okay, so there's 3 energy on that Mewtwo, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and there's going to be 3 energy on this Darkrai. That's Okay, there's the Eviolite. He had to hit that.
Yeah.
If he didn't, it's actually just game.
Right.
For the most part. But, okay, so you can Night Spirit, but that wouldn't knock out the Darkrai. He has a Shaman in his hand. That's interesting.
Hey, you actually only need to attach one more energy for X-Ball to be a knockout. That'll be 100 damage, and that'll be a knockout. So I think if you're Yamato, you just attach to your Mewtwo, X-Ball.
Go, right? And then even like if Yuta responds with his own Mewtwo, Yamato just goes with his, and that's it.
Yeah, Mewtwo, Shaman, game over. So Yamato is very close to advancing to the finals of the Top Gun Invitational. This would be great. After his 0-2 performance last year, I'm sure he was eager to come back and prove that he belongs with these guys. And he's definitely doing it here.
Oh, yeah. Great games from him so far.
Yeah, he's played very well. Both players have played very well, obviously. And here is Mewtwo. Oh, he's actually just going to Shaman.
He's just going to guarantee it.
Oh, he's going to move the double colorless.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, he's got an N as well. Okay. So he just wants to get rid of that before he takes 2 more prizes. Otherwise, Yuta could portrait the N. And in that case, you're going down to 2 cards. So you want to get rid of that dead supporter while you can.
All right. Oh, there's a Weavile. Oh,
yeah.
But it's too bad the Sneasel got knocked out. Oh, no. I was so excited for another claw snag. But Yuta's hand's pretty loaded.
It is, but once again, he needs Dark Patch, a way to move the energy, Mewtwo, double colorless, in order to pull this off.
And he needs an N, because, you know, that Mewtwo is going to come in.
Yeah, so I'm sure this will be a Dark Patch, which will go on to Darkrai. Yep, it pretty much has to be. There's the Mewtwo. Now he just needs Energy Switch or Shaman and a double colorless.
Yep.
And he'll have a shot at this game. Otherwise, probably not so much.
All right, let's see what it comes down to this end.
He's going to draw 5 cards. He needs Energy Switch.
There's Energy Switch.
And double colorless. Oh, we got a Lost Remover, too.
Doesn't want to play that yet.
Yeah. He might have to if he whiffs the double colorless. But he does have a portrait as well, I suppose. So
maybe he's playing around, like getting a shuffle draw.
Yeah. He's gonna portrait. Oh, a Juniper. Wow.
Big.
You know, that's good and bad.
Yeah.
He's gonna be able to draw his double colorless, but now Yamato is gonna have a chance to Juniper and win the game.
Not so much actually. He's not.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, his bench is full.
He's lost both of his Shamans, huh?
A little greedy, actually, with that Night Spear, or almost with that second celebration win. It would have been better, I think, to just let it go back into the deck and just see where everything ends up.
Yeah, I do like that Yuta is doing everything he can to win, but I think Yamato is still in a wonderful position to be able to Night Spear, just hit the Mewtwo for 90. Soften up and Lost Remover. That's going to be another card that is going to make a world of difference. So he's going to hit this Mewtwo that has no energy. And if Yuta can't max potion, it's just a catcher good game. So yeah, a lot of things have to go wrong for Yamato not to win this game.
Okay.
So we do see the Juniper.
Junk
he gets
arm.
a Junk Arm. Looks like he's ready to play it. What's he going to grab with it?
Poor Weavile.
Dark Patch, maybe?
Catcher. Very
Catcher.
nice.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I like this. He's just saying, I'm going to just draw my catchers here. He has another one in his hand.
Oh, okay. Then it's just catcher game over.
Yeah.
So Yuta absolutely needs to play N this turn, or the game is done. And really, the last supporter he wants to play is N, because he needs to do a lot just to get an attack off.
Yeah.
And he's only going to be drawing 3.
I think Yamato has locked it up.
Yeah, it's beautifully played, I have to say. I don't think he could have played it any better. It's a random receiver. We need an N.
There it is. Yeah.
All right, so it's not completely over yet.
Now it's just time for a big boy Mewtwo coming in. He'll still need a DCE off this, though.
Yeah, there's a Dark Patch.
Oh, he has a Shaman in his hand, I think. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, I don't even know what he wants to go for here. He could just Mewtwo an N, but if he does that, he still needs another energy to make this a 2-hit knockout. Otherwise, X-Ball will just be doing 60, right?
Yeah, I kind of would just like maybe retreat the Darkrai, Shaman over all the energies, and then hope for the best. And he has a DC in his hand.
Oh yeah, he has that as well. So really, this is a perfect hand. Wow.
Yeah, this worked out so well for him.
Yeah. This could be such a huge comeback. Oh my goodness. Yamato's only going to get one card. This is his last attacker. Nothing else has energy on the field. Realistically, he's got one turn to draw a catcher, or a Juniper, or any sort of supporter like that, or else he's going to lose. We do see an X-Ball for 100. Random receiver. Oh my goodness. This is it. Does he draw the catcher or the junk arm? Wow.
Here we go. Here we go.
Wow. Yamato, he is praying for the catcher.
4, 5. Oh,
got it.
There it is.
And Yamato will advance to the finals of the Top Cut Invitational. Wow, what a match. Very well played by both players.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So well. This was Yuta's second top full here.
Yeah.
Very impressive. It's only an 8-man tournament, but it's very tough. All the players are so good.
Yeah.
And to make it to the top 4 is very impressive.
Yeah, such a great performance from both players. You have to feel bad for Yuta that he ended up losing. I mean, he was right there. There was just like one more turn, and I think he had it locked up.
Yeah.
But Yamato, he ripped the random receiver, got the catcher, boom, game over.
That's all it took. A lot of games come down to N, and then it comes down to who draws out of it first.
Yeah,
so
and Yamato was the one to draw out of it.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, it was a bit of luck from Yuta to hit the N off the random receiver in the first place, but wow, what a match. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, it's really cool to show how like dominant this Darkrai Mewtwo deck is.
Yeah.
You know, it won Worlds with Terrakion.
Yeah.
But the main concept is there. And it got second. Has it really?
I think it was like all the top 4 actually.
Yeah. And then it's 2 or 3 because David Cohen is playing it. 3 out of the top 4 here is Darkrai Mewtwo.
Yeah.
So this deck is clearly super, super good.
Yeah, Darkrai Mewtwo is just really good. It's just you're combining the Darkrai and the Mewtwo, and I mean it's just the 2 Pokemon that have been dominant throughout the season. Mewtwo dominated states and regionals. Darkrai, he just kind of tried to kick Mewtwo off his throne when he came, but Mewtwo's still good, so you just kind of combine the 2 legendary Pokemon that have been just destroying this format, and I guess you come out with a pretty good deck.
It's... wow. Mewtwo is so good.
Yeah. So, looks like we have the winner of our other match.
It looks like John Roberts came in the top 4, was eliminated.
Yeah, so it would be David Cohen versus Yamato, a rematch in our finals.
Yeah, wow. Both decks made it this far. We're definitely going to see Darkrai win this tournament. We're definitely going to see Mewtwo win this tournament. Yeah, let's just try to get this going right away.
Yeah, I mean, this is really cool actually that we have a rematch. It's going to be a mirror match, but I mean, I'm really excited to see Yamato here in the finals. I think he's one of the most exciting players you could ever watch. And we get to see David Cohen, last year's world champion. He's going to have a chance to be our Top Cut Invitational champion as well. So that will be coming up next. It'll be on our stream. We'll have Tsuguyoshi Yamato, David Cohen, Japan versus USA, 2 world champions colliding. Wow, I don't know what else you can ask for here besides having a commentator that would pay attention.